Hi, welcome back to It's Okay to Play with Food. Gabby here. Thanks for joining it. I'm gonna share today my jelly-filled donut recipe. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Questions, likes, and comments are welcome. Enjoy. 2¼ cups of flour, 1 cup of milk, 4 tablespoons of butter that we're gonna warm up, not melt, but just warm up, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of vanilla sugar. If you don't have it, a teaspoon, maybe a little bit less of vanilla extract, 1 packet of dry yeast, which is about 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of oil, and 2 eggs. And I'm gonna warm up a little bit of milk and mix it with the yeast. You will also need a deep pot with 2 to 3 inches deep of oil, and we're gonna fry the sweet dough at medium high. I mixed my butter with a little bit of warm milk, so it did start to melt it a little bit. I'm gonna put it in my mixing bowl, just enough to warm up the bowl. And I am gonna add the sugar, the vanilla sugar or the vanilla. I'm gonna add the yeast mixture, the oil, and the flour. And I'm gonna use my palette again instead of the hook for the dough. And I'm gonna mix it just a tiny little bit. And at this point, I'm gonna add my eggs, and I'm gonna let it mix thoroughly. I found that my dough is just a little bit too runny, so I added 1 tablespoon of flour to it. I'm gonna give it a good mix. And if you see those little long elastin lines that are forming, it's what we're looking for. I'm gonna take off the palette, and I'm gonna just gather it very nicely into the middle of the bowl, and I'm gonna sprinkle it with a little bit of flour, and we're gonna give it 40 minutes to an hour of a rest. Cover it with a saran wrap and a kitchen towel. Okay, our dough has doubled in size, and just because my working surface is so little, I'm gonna split the dough so it's easier for me to work with. It is very sticky still, so make sure that you have enough flour on your surface. And then add a little bit more flour on top of it, and kind of spread it out a little bit. If you want to fill it already with like some sort of a jam, fruit spread, chocolate, whatever it is, you can definitely fill it afterwards, or you can fill it beforehand. But then you have to kind of make the dough a little bit thinner. And I'm gonna use a glass over here. And this we're gonna fill with raspberry fruit spread. I'm gonna fill them before I bake them. jam right over there in the middle on half of the little discs that I have. I'm gonna dab a little water on the edges of my little dough discs so the other side of it will stick to it. I'm gonna transfer them onto a parchment paper floured surface, and we're gonna let them rest for about another 20 minutes or so. They need to expand in volume again. And the plain ones, I'm gonna have about a half an inch of dough when I'm gonna cut them, because these ones are gonna be plain. I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit more flour on top of it, and I'm gonna cover it with the kitchen towel. Okay, the oil has gotten really, really hot, so I'm gonna place a couple of them and let them get nice and golden brown on both sides. And here we have our Romanian donuts, and this is the one with the jam, and this is the plain one. And you can have some syrup on the side. Enjoy! If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Questions, likes, and comments are welcome.